and welcome. My name is Sarah and Bob, and welcome to Bob Buys, where I normally go to places like charity shops, thrift stores, and retail locations to buy stuff for really cheap to flip on sites like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay for a profit. Now I say normally because this weekend, or the last video, I actually got to pick a hoarder house. It was an initial walkthrough just to see if I would be interested or if there was anything there that I would be interested in picking out for resale. And at the lovely price of free, the answer is yes. It was very overwhelming, and it had already been cleaned out. And by cleaned out, I mean there were definitely pathways made. There'd already been 3 dumpsters of stuff taken out per the person that helped do that. And so this is just the stuff that I picked out, or the haul for the stuff that I picked out in that first initial walkthrough. I am hoping to be able to go back because there was a lot more stuff there that I would like to resell. But we walked there, so I couldn't actually carry everything that was there because a lot of it's also breakable. So this is going to be all the stuff that I got from the house. So the first thing you guys saw me pick up, and the thing that carried everything else, is this bag. And I got this bag because it was really cool. This is a handmade quilted bag. It says it's handmade here on the flap. It says handmade by Susan Forbes right there. I don't know who that is. Now this looks like it is a patchwork quilt. It is not. Well, it is quilted. It is not an actual patchwork quilt. This is printed fabric. The colors in it make me think like this is probably early 90s. It'd be late 80s, early 90s, just because of how vibrant the colors are. If it was 80, they'd be slightly more muted. Also, this style of banding was really popular during that time period as well. Now, because this is a vintage item and it's a handmade vintage item, and because it's really colorful, you know, rainbows never seem to go out of style. And boho hippie stuff. This is also kind of boho hippie style. It's like grandma boho hippie style, which is a lot of people's aesthetic, to be honest. I would expect to get about $30 to $40 for this bag. I'm going to post it up on Etsy because that's probably where this is going to have a place. It's also got these hook and loop fastener pockets on the side. And it was just cool. I already washed it, so it's clean. It just has some discoloration from like age and sun. So, and I don't really feel like putting the effort to try to get that out. But this bag allowed me to carry all the rest of the stuff out of the house, and it's also just really cool looking. So $30 to $40 for this. So this next item is probably my favorite item out of the house. You can hear it. It is ticking. Well, it was ticking, and then I said something, and then it stopped ticking. This is kind of temperamental. It does work. As you can see there, the little hand is waving. This is a mid-century Chairman Mao red china alarm clock, wind-up alarm clock. The alarm works. It is exceptionally loud. I would be very impressed if you could sleep through it. I know that because I wound it up and set a time, and then completely forgot about it. And then the alarm went off and scared the shit out of everybody. So, this is just cool. It's just cool. This is listed. I didn't really see any solds for this exact model. The model I saw solds for, it had the 2 physical bells on top. They're selling between $20 to $40, depending on which model it is. So I put mine right up in the medium for $30. This was just cool. I know, you know, communist China, maybe not, especially how it became communist China is maybe not the happiest of stories, but it's a cool clock. And it's ticking again. And the little airplane goes around for the seconds. I know you can see it. And then the little hand does the little yay. It's just cool. I think it's cool. It's temperamental, but it works. So that's all there is to it. I also found 3 of these. I'm only got to show 2 here because the other one is propping up my camera. So these are reprints. These are not the original, you know, or turn of the century Ivory Soap packaging. This is the 2001 reprint. I got 3 of these at free. I just put them up for like $5 again because they're free. So I wasn't worried about that. They still smell good. So people use them like to decorate their bathrooms or their Airbnbs and stuff, and they're cheap. I mean, if you were to buy 3 bars of Ivory Soap, it'd be about $5 anyway. So there you go. This next item, I actually already had one of these up for sale, so I changed the quantity to 2, and if you buy both of them, you get 20% off both of them. These typically sell between $10 to $20. The blue version of this sells for more. If you have no idea what it is, it's because I didn't tell you what it was. This is actually made by Fire King. It is just a serving tray with, 22 karat gold, I believe, trimming the edge. Both of the ones that I have are in amazing condition. It looks like nobody ever used them. So I have a set of these now up for sale because I found one in the house and I was like, oh my God, it's the exact same thing in the house. It was awesome. The next thing I'm going to show you, I have 2 of these. The reason I'm holding them sideways is because I didn't realize when I picked these up, this is Lusterware. These are Lusterware salt and pepper shakers. They're made in Japan. They have the blue and peach Lusterware. They still had stuff in them. They were full of pepper and salt, which is kind of fossilized. I'm going to have to soak this one in hot water to get the salt out because it is in there. I already removed the corks because the corks had rotted because they'd been in there for gosh knows how long. I have new corks on the way. I needed to get new corks anyway because I have a bunch of vintage, almost antique salt and pepper shakers. Well, they'd be vintage because most antique would be like a salt cellar, which is like a little tiny dish. Sidetrack. So I will have to soak this in water. These aren't worth a whole lot. I just think they're pretty. So I picked them out because I didn't want them to perish in the hoarder house. So these are only worth like $5, mostly because everybody's picking up. The Lusterware market is a little depressed. You have to have something truly amazing in order for it to sell well, but I think they're beautiful. It has this beautiful iridescence to it, and they're just cute, and they have nice big holes. So those are only like $5 plus shipping. The next thing I got, owls. I have a soft spot for owls. This is probably late 70s, early 80s. This is a set of 36 new old stock Graceline napkins. They're just cute. It's just cute. I have these up for like $5. Again, at free. Why not? Again, not something I want to perish because it's brand new. They're good napkins. They just been sitting in a house for God knows how long. This next item I found and I thought was hilarious because, so this is a set of Otagiri duck coasters. They're lacquer coasters. They're curved. They almost like little plates. All 6 are in there. It doesn't look like it was really used. I mean, the inside label is gorgeous. But what I found very funny is that I actually found recently at a thrift store an Otagiri duck mug that it's the same. It's literally the same thing. This also apparently had a tea set and like a bunch of mugs and like a whole bunch of other stuff that went with it that was like all decorated the same. So I thought this was really cool. These sell between $15 and $20, so that's what I have them up for. I haven't listed the mug yet. I just thought that was very funny that I found something very similar. I found this as well. This is new old stock. This is just a patch for your pair of pants. The only other, I found 2 more of these, but they were not this style. They were Jaws, like the movie Jaws. So that gives you a good time period of when Jaws was popular is when this came out. So I think that's what, late 70s. I'm sorry, I'm like offending so many people that I don't know when Jaws came out. I've really literally never watched the movie. I've just offended so many more people by saying that. So that's when these were new and interesting. I thought it was cool because you can send it as a gift. It has a place for you to put an address, a message, and a stamp to send this to your friend as a gift. Now the ones that have Jaws on them sell for $30. So I did not put this up for that amount of money. I put it up for $8 just because it is new old stock. It is a vintage piece. It originally sold for $1. So Speaking of new owned stock, I also found this. This is a mechanics wear apron. It is new, completely in box, never opened, other than when I dropped it and it opened and I had to put it back in the package. This is selling for between $25 and $30 on eBay. So that's what I put it up for sale for. I put it up for like a little bit over 25 just because, again, I dropped it. So it squished it. So the package is not in pristine condition. So I put it up for around $25. So that's really cool. I found a timer. This also works. I love these mechanical things because they almost always work just because they're made so well. This is a mid-century modern Presto kitchen timer. It's a minute. This is the minute timer. They also have one that does minute and hour, but this is just the minute timer. It's very loud. You see the bell there underneath of it. It also still has the original sticker for when it was originally sold. This is nasty and I need to clean it. But these sell between like $10 and $15. There are several listed. But I thought that was just really cool. I was like, ooh, I know those lines. Those are mid-century modern lines. I'm buying that and I'm going to clean it up. Now these I definitely had to save from the house. So these are Walt Disney Pepsi collector's glasses. So these aren't like McDonald's or they aren't from some fast food chain. These are Walt Disney Pepsi collaboration for the Jungle Book. And I have Mowgli and I have Colonel Hathi. I don't know how to say this. It's been a long time since I watched the movies. And these are beautiful. They don't have any dishwasher fading, which means somebody just bought them and set them up and or hand washed them. I think they probably just sat in the house. It's a hoarder house, let's be honest. Now, the full set of 8 sold for $250. If you just sell the individual glasses, they're going between $20 and $25 a piece. So I pulled both of the ones that I was able to find out of the house. So those are really a nice find. So the next item I found is this vintage hand mirror. This is brass. You can tell by the greening here that this is brass. This definitely needs, I will clean this up before I sell it. I'm not going to turn it around so you can see the mirror. I assure you, you can see yourself in this. The reason I'm not turning it around is just because I don't want you to see what's on my desk or in the rest of my office. So these sell between like $10 and $15. It just, well, 15, 20. This is very heavy and it's very long and people like flowers. This would be like more of an Etsy thing for an aesthetic kind of a vanity for your makeup center. But it was just pretty. So I pulled that out. This, I don't know what to price this as. Again, it was new old stock. These are mid-century hot pads. And by hot pads, I mean like they're drink coasters. They're not paper. Or maybe they are paper. I don't know. These are like cloth paper. They are thick for a paper coaster, at least what I would consider a paper coaster. Like they're almost like cloth. And there's a full set of 25 in here. These would be like every mid-century wife's hosting, like anytime you had your bridge club over or the ladies from your women's club would come over, I'm sure you had to have these out and serving your drinks. And it's just like the vintage, like everything about this is just amazing. But this just screams mid-century. Again, it also doesn't have any barcode, so that also screams mid-century because it's new old stock, but it doesn't have a barcode. For those of you that don't know, barcoding, I believe, came about. Oh, that is what the Google is for. When were UPCs mandated? Okay. So the fact that this is mid-century, for those of you that don't know, UPC codes weren't mandated to be on all packaging until the early 70s. So that's pretty much when mid-century is considered ending, has ended. So this is pretty awesome. I just thought it was cool. There's nothing like it on Etsy and or eBay, so I don't know. I'd probably just throw it up for an auction and see what happens. I have a couple of ashtrays. They're both mid-century ashtrays. This is a stainless steel mid-century ashtray made in England. It just screamed mid-century modern at me, and I was like, okay, I will take you. These sell, you know, these stainless steel ones, especially when they're clean like this, and obviously mid-century modern. Because this is made in England, it'll probably fetch a slightly higher price, so this would be like a $15 one. Also, it's because it's a really good size. This one is also kind of like mid-century modern. This is definitely like mid-century modern, like totally mixed in with hippie, like psychedelic thing. Like this is the 60s, man. If you've ever watched Miss Maisel, like the latest season of Mrs. Maisel, you would know what I mean. Like it's the 60s, man. But this is just like a 2 cigarette. There's one here and one here. It's just a really pretty piece of art glass, and this is made in the USA, so this would also probably be a $10 piece. So I'm very excited about both of those. Not that smoking is good for you, but they're just beautiful pieces of, you know, a time in our history when people thought smoking was still good for you. And doctors would recommend you do it. I know, it's crazy. I also found this. This is Royal Colley. This is another mid-century piece, and this has some really, I like crazing. I don't know why some people don't like crazing, but I like crazing. This has like really fine crazing throughout the entirety of the piece. The fact that it still has its original paper sticker or metallic sticker on it is awesome. These aren't selling for very much. They're like, if you have a pair, they sell for, you know, $16 plus shipping. If you have one, it's selling for like $5 to $10, depending on, you know, the person who bought it at the time felt like paying for it. So again, it's just something I rescued out of the house because I thought it was beautiful and because, you know, I like mid-century decorating. The next thing is near and dear to my heart, only because my grandmother was a war bride for World War II. I know I don't look it, but I am part Japanese. This is a restricted Japanese phrase book that was issued to soldiers when they were stationed. And I just threw it. So sorry, grandmother. Okay. So this next item is actually kind of near and dear to my heart because my grandmother was a war bride from World War II. And part of the reason why I went to Japan this year. This is a Japanese phrase book from the War Department issued to soldiers in 1944. You can see there at the bottom. Just basic Japanese phrases. It is signed by the soldier it was issued to. It's in really good shape. There aren't any pages ripped out of it. It does have some like rust staining here from the staple binding. It's in really good shape, you know, age of yellowing. These sell, depending on the condition, between $10 and $20. Like the ones where it's like white, like it got issued and then got stuck in their house somewhere and never left their house. Pristine ones sell for around $20. This one, because it doesn't have any pages ripped out of and it's still intact with really good shape, I put it for $20, but you know, probably around $15 will be what I get for this one. I have a few more books other than this one. The thing is that with these books, I don't know what the price they're gonna be because there's nothing to base the price off of. So the first one is this Montgomery, Alabama, Southside Baptist Church Women Bible Class, the New Home Cookbook from 1924. It's thick too. And this looks like it was well used because the pages are like definitely cut. You got some Anderson Lumber Company, which is really why I picked it up because my last name is Anderson and I thought that was funny. But it's got like some nice advertisements from Montgomery, Alabama, like their local thing. Like, look at this. Look, it's just really cool. Sour milk biscuits. I almost am tempted not to sell this because I kind of want to see what the stuff in here, like, I want to make it and see what it's like. But these old church cookbooks can sell for a little to a lot of money. So this is going to be another thing that when I do list it, it's going to go up for auction. I would hope to get at least $20 for this, just because it's in really good shape. It has, like, Montgomery, Alabama is a big site for a lot of historic things. Look at this. Look at it. It's just cool. It's got the old advertisements in it as well. It's just cool. So this is really cool. I'm like having a hard time wanting to get rid of it, but it will go up for sale. I will put it up for auction and see what happens, but I do hope to get at least $20 for it. This next piece is a Flora and Fauna book. It is, however, in German. It is entirely in German. There was a lot of like German and French stuff at this house, but it's beautifully illustrated. Alpine Flora, text in English, French, and German. So it's in English, French, and German. So this is in German. The back's in German, and in French. Oh, there's the English part. Never mind. I just hadn't gone far enough. So in the beginning it's English, and then it turns to German, and then I guess at the end is French, which is kind of rude. Yeah. But this is cool. And I don't know what this would be worth because I couldn't find anything like it online. So, I just thought it was really cool and it was beautifully illustrated. And this, let's see, when is this from? So this was originally 1904. 1904. These antique books, I can't let them rot in a hoarder house. It just can't happen. The next thing I bought, because I do live in Virginia, I am from the South. This is Masterpieces of the Southern Poets by Walter Neal. And it's just full of like a bunch of poetry from random dudes or Southern gentlemen. Normally, you know, plantation owners. Francis Scott Key from Maryland again. And for those of you that don't know, Southern poets is anything below the Mason-Dixon line, and that does include Maryland. So I thought this was cool. Again, there's nothing like it online, so I don't know how much this is going to go for. That's also going to go to auction. I also pulled this out of the hoarder house, and that's because my goddaughter's name is Freya. It's not spelled this way. It has a J in there. But her mother, my best friend's wife, has a master's degree in children's literature, so I thought she would think this is very cute. This is from, I believe, the 60s, actually. Oh, 1975. So I just thought this was cute. And the very last thing to show you that I picked out of the house, well, actually, no, there's two other things. So this is the second to last thing. This is a junior stewardess. Don't look at my face, look at the pen. American Airlines Junior Stewardess pin from like 50s or 60s. These sell for between $10 and $15 on eBay. So the last thing I would show you would be this Harris Tweed woolen coat. What I didn't notice when I picked it out of the house was that it is very nommed by moths. Pretty much anything wool in that house was nommed on by moths because, again, it was a hoarder house. For those of you that don't know, Harris Tweed is the gold standard when it comes to tweed fabric. Just period. If you see something with Harris Tweed on it, it hasn't been nommed on by moths, you should buy it. Buy it. I always try to rescue Harris Tweed whenever I see it, just because of the fact that it is so highly sought after. Because this has been nommed on by moths, it has been so nommed on by moths, I unfortunately will not be able to do what I had originally hoped to do with it. When I just picked it out because I saw the Harris Tweed and went all googly-eyed about it. I might still be able to make something out of this. I normally buy these to try to resell them. If they have been too damaged, I try to make stuff out of them because Harris Tweed, again, is the gold standard for tweed. I love tweed and I love wool, and I really want to make an Edwardian walking skirt, a modern adaptation of an Edwardian walking skirt out of Harris Tweed. That would just make me so happy. But unfortunately, I don't think there's an unnommed enough amount of Harris tweed to really be able to even make one skirt panel out of that. So that might be a bag or an ornament or a hand wallet or something. But regardless, it is now no longer in the house. I will be picked apart and I will be cutting sections of fabric out of it that will hopefully be usable. But that's everything I got out of the house for this one trip. As you guys can tell from the ridiculous length of this video, it was a lot. Thank you guys for watching until the end. If I go back in the house, I will definitely film again and show you guys what I get out of it. And thank you guys for going on this super awesome side trip with me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Bye.